Thank you, Chairman Strong. I now recognize the ranking member for the Subcommittee on Emergency Management and Technology, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Kennedy, for his opening statement.
Thank you, Chairman, and also thanks to my fellow ranking members. Good afternoon. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today to discuss the use of unmanned aerial systems by the Department of Homeland Security. However, I want to begin by discussing the alarming remarks and actions by the White House and the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noem. Just last week, Secretary Noem stated on national television that, quote, "We are going to eliminate FEMA," end quote. This, disturbingly, received immediate praise from President Trump. Reportedly, Secretary Noem is in active discussions with FEMA leadership about dismantling the agency by October 1st, a reckless move that could leave millions of Americans vulnerable to the impacts of natural disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, winter storms, wildfires, and floods without any federal assistance. It's deeply concerning that today's hearing isn't solely focused on holding this administration accountable for its plans to dismantle the only federal agency solely dedicated to assisting Americans in the aftermath of disasters. I encourage my Republican colleagues, many of whom have had disasters in their districts, to take action to prevent this administration from doing irreparable harm to the American people by dismantling FEMA. While today's hearing is about drones, the unfortunate reality is that the Trump White House continues to create obstacles that jeopardize the very programs that we're discussing. The Department of Homeland Security's Science and Technology Directorate has played a crucial role in integrating unmanned aerial systems into national security and emergency response efforts. However, the reckless mass firings by Elon Musk and President Trump have hindered S&T's workforce and its capacity to innovate and lead. At the same time, the administration's freeze on federal grants, which is being carried out in violation of court orders, has left communities and first responders unable to secure the vital funding needed for acquiring and deploying drone technology. Grant funding from the Department of Homeland Security has been instrumental in funding local law enforcement seeking to adopt drone technology. However, under Republican House leadership, we've seen a 10% reduction in DHS grant programs in fiscal year 24, followed by similarly inadequate funding levels in fiscal year 25. This has significantly hampered local agencies' ability to acquire critical technology like drones. This is especially impactful for Western New Yorkers, the people I represent, where emergency services, law enforcement, fire departments, and other agencies rely on federal grant funding to deploy drone technologies in disaster response. I can name many different examples of this, but first responders are oftentimes utilizing drone technology in critical missions in my community. For instance, late last year, Buffalo police used drones during extremely cold temperatures to locate and rescue a man who had become disoriented in the snow, bringing him to safety. Without adequate funding, local agencies may be unable to respond to future emergencies as effectively as they otherwise could. Ensuring our local agencies are equipped and funded is not just a matter of policy, but a commitment to the safety and resilience of our communities. I look forward to discussing today how we can promote responsible law enforcement use of drones to equip our first responders with the tools they need to protect and serve effectively. I thank you all for your testimony and your service and look forward to hearing from you. With that, I yield back. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Ranking